Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I always have special guests, and this is a returning guest of mine. So she is a friend of mine. We've known each other since, going way back to high school. We're not going to name dates or anything like that. But my special guest has a book that just came out. Woohoo! Yay! So I want her to introduce herself and to tell us about her new book, which she's going to also hold up for us. So you won't be able to see it on the podcast, but you will see it on YouTube. The Cost of Clutter. Tell us about their book, The Cost of Clutter.
Yes. The Cost of Clutter. The subtitle is Billion Dollar Wisdom for Culture, Communities, and Companies.
All right.
Simple guide to personal and professional transformation.
Okay. And who wrote the book?
I wrote the book. I am the author. And I am telling a story about how I went through a very difficult transition and how I was able to overcome that.
Okay.
And the cost of clutter.
Your name is?
Oh, my name is Monica Jenkins. I'm sorry, everybody. The author is Monica Jenkins. And so I start by telling a story, how I went through a very difficult transition and how I was able to overcome that. And what I learned from that about mental clutter and our physical spaces. So what I'm providing in this book is not only my own personal story to clarity, but also how everyone, no matter how you see clutter or look at clutter, has some steps and some strategies on how to live a lifestyle with less clutter. So I'm very excited to bring this to the world and to provide some clutter to clarity coaching to people who need that. So when I'm not writing a book, I am a lifestyle coach, but I focus in clutter to clarity coaching. And what that really is helping people to kind of get unstuck. And that could be, for example, someone who has some kind of organizing situation going on in their home. It could be a closet, it could be their whole house, it could be just something really as simple as trying to figure out what they want to do in their life next, and they just can't figure that out. So all of these strategies, whether it's for your house or whether it's for your work, you can apply them. And I'm really excited about it, and I'm looking forward to having other opportunities to learn too. So I'll be doing some workshops. I will be doing some one-on-one coaching, and I've also spoke with corporations as well.
Now, was the book self-published, or did you go through a specific publishing company?
Actually, it's self-published. Self-published. I started this journey through, about 16 months ago. And it was born from a life group that I used to do with my church. So life groups, for those who don't know, are really workshops that are designed to speak to specific things. So for example, we have some that are biblically based, or we might be talking about something in the Bible, or we are talking about life. So that's hence the name, life group. So we're talking about life. So I was asked to present my From Clutter to Clarity, Finding Meaning in Your Mess, the 8-week workshop to some of our, to anyone who is interested, actually. So you pick your kind of the titles. There's several that are going around within our church that you can decide which one that makes sense for you. So that was the one that I led and facilitated. And so with that, I did 3 8-week workshops during COVID when we were all locked in. We're on Zoom meeting, and it was quite the experience and quite the response from people that wanted more. And then many people saying, oh, you should write a book, you should write a book. And I'm like, yes, I really believe that there's a book in this, but who knows how to write a book? Not I. So I had to take some time off from life, doing the workshops, like the life groups, and kind of think about this a little bit. And hence I found a team that could publish for me, edit, do all the things that needs to be done so that I can then become a self-published author. And this journey is specifically working with a team that works with authors who are doing kind of the self-help type stuff, right? So that's kind of how it began. And again, people wanting more, people after the group was over, and I talk about this a little bit in the book, after it was over, people were reaching out, asking for one-on-one coaching or asking, even can we get together as a group? And even one individual contacted me and we just had a conversation over the phone. And so about some challenges that she was having in her home. But again, I would probably say one of the things that's near and dear to my heart is that people get that this is about lifestyle change. This is lifestyle change. It's something you can apply to your home and then you can apply to your professional life as well.
And so after that workshop that you did, because I was in at least 2 of them, I believe, you also started a Facebook page. So did you want to put your Facebook page out there in case somebody wanted to jump in and join your Facebook, or is that a closed group?
Right now it's a closed group, but that was definitely started within that workshop. People wanted a little more. Some people couldn't attend all the time, so we would share just a synopsis of kind of what we talked about, and then maybe provide, I think we also provided tips that we got from maybe a particular workshop. So we did like a 30-day challenge in one of the workshops. So that was kind of, out there for people to try to jump on with us, those who can be with us. So yeah, so that's something that's coming that will probably open it up. And also I am on Instagram at the Cost of Clutter. And so we will be doing some stuff on there as well as we get this book out to the world.
Yes. So what I wanted to ask, I know I have a lot of favorite scriptures. I know you do too. And one of them is everything should be done decently in order. So throughout your book, do you have scriptures, little plugs of scriptures throughout the book? Just curious.
I'm so glad you asked that question, Nubia. I do actually, I wanted to stay true to my faith. And so there is a page, and if you don't mind me finding it, it's called, this is kind of also giving you all a little snapshot of the book. And it says this is kind of towards the end of the book, and it says, even the Holy Bible invites you to clean out your closet. And so what I have are 7 scriptures, and I'll let you know what one of them, I'll share one of them with you. And it is, by wisdom, a house is built, and by understanding it is established. By knowledge, the rooms are filled with precious and pleasant riches. And that comes from Proverbs 24, verse 3-4. And so, yes, to answer your question, I have a whole page devoted to some scripture that kind of speaks to the idea of having kind of a lifestyle that's less clutter. So we think about with intention about the things that we have in our spaces or the plans that we're making for our life. We can promote this kind of, decluttered free lifestyle. So yes, to answer your question.
So I think it's important for people to know that it takes a while to get to where you can say, you know what, my room is cluttered, my house is cluttered. So for people to understand, be patient with this stuff, because if it's taken you 20 years to notice that you've had clutter around you and to figure out how to get rid of it, it's going to be a journey to slowly release and get rid of the clutter. Is that correct?
That is correct. And that's why when I was doing my interviews and having conversations with people, one of the things that comes up for people is that they're overwhelmed, it's stressful, it's I don't have the time. And so the book addresses that and tries to give some suggestions for that. But what I want people to know, no shame, no judgment, right? We have to start slow. And so in my process, that's what I had to do. I talk about a very difficult transition that I went through many years ago and how it impacted me, my family. And one of the things when I kind of had to take that moment to think about what my next steps were going to be, I had to start slow. And so in this book, I talk about, and really is the method that I created is based on this one word, and it's vision. And so that is the method. It became an acronym, and each letter represents a step. And so, again, I keep saying this is about lifestyle change. So I know I'm overwhelmed. Even today, I will get overwhelmed with like, okay, I want to go through my closet and I want to see like what I want to donate, what I want to give away, what I want to have repaired, and that kind of thing. And I know it's a lot to like pull everything out of your closet. Some people say, pull everything out. There's all these different things that people say, organizers say, and you have to do what works for you. And what I learned, I had to do it that way. I had to kind of pull everything out and look at my life. And I made the correlation between like the mess that I was carrying around with me to where I was really trying to be in a new space and, new life and, new work and that. So yeah, for me, it's about starting slow.
Mhm.
Because as someone, me, who's hard on themselves when it comes to having things in certain order, this was a time when everything was out of order. And so I needed to start slow.
I think that was good. Thank you. I think that sometimes there's a spirit of perfectionism. And so with that, we don't know where to start. So is there somewhere a chapter or in your book, I'm sure that there is, of like, okay, starting slow, but where to start? Because that's most of us don't start because we don't know where to start because we are so overwhelmed. And then there's a spirit of perfectionism.
Yes, and I'm very familiar with that spirit. Nubia, yeah. So like what this is, it's a guide, right? It's a guide. And so to each person, it's individual. So like the clients that I work with, they all have a different idea about what clutter is and have a different starting point. And I talk about in the book, I have a few case studies that are in there about particularly this one, a woman who, it stands out for me because it's such a, just a very interesting story. She had breast cancer and survived, reached out, saw me, knew me, I know this person from a long time ago, and reached out and kind of said, do you do certain things regarding organization? And so I said, well, let's talk. We got on a call and we talked, right? And then the project seemed like it was something that was quite large. So I went out and did an assessment. And really the bottom line for this person was, I want my house back after cancer, right? So I could relate with that in a sense of having an injury, not having breast cancer, not to even compare the two, but also knowing what happens when something happens in the house where you just can't do the things that you need to do to make your house be the house that you need. And so in that assessment, that was really important. So one of the first things I said, and this is in the book, as she took me around and, I humbly walked through her space, and we ended up in the bedroom, the master bedroom. And she said, one of the priorities for me, because that's number one. What's the priority for you when you have all this stuff? The priority for this person was, I want my room to be a place for me and my husband, right? And right now it's just still me. It's like a hospital bed, almost like a hospital room, because of the things that you need to support while you're going through what you're going through. And so we looked at her closet. Now, all closets are just, I don't know, no closet is created equal. We never have the closet that we want. Never. We can have the house we want, but it seems like we can never get the closet we want. And in her case, it was true too. It was like it was a unique size. It was very different. It was like, how do you, how does it function for you? But at the end of the day, what I said was, what in this closet represents the cancer?
Mm.
And immediately that person started pulling out things, and we were having a conversation as she was pulling those things out. She was overwhelmed by her whole space when I got there, but we started small. We started in her closet, which was the priority space, and she began to just, I think we had 2 or 3 large bags, very large bags of clothes, very heavy, that I had to have her sons help me carry them to the car because I wanted to take them out of her house for her.
Mhm.
So it's everybody has a different starting point on this. That was a very severe start. And for that person, it's going to take, like, we have to kind of outline, like, what's your time frame to have all this done? Where can we start? There were a lot of factors there, but the main space was the bedroom. And that was, to me, I felt ideal because that's our place of rest. There's a lot of people, we always start, seems like we always start there sometimes.
Thank you. That was a very good story because that was like a neutral thing, not like where people would feel comfortable hearing that story and still identifying with it. So this was a fast one. We only have like 8 minutes left, but tell me, so is there an audio of this yet? And is it only paperback? And then where can people find you? Because we'll have to have you back again always, but just give us a little bit of details of where we can contact you. And do you have it on audio? Or is there something that may be in the future?
That might be in the future, not on audio just yet, but it is available on Kindle. It's hardback and paperback, and on Amazon. It will be dropped like worldwide, 40,000, over 40,000 online outlets it should hit. And so in terms of where you can find me, Instagram at the cost of clutter. So that's the name of the book, at the cost of clutter. Please follow me on there. That way I can share updates of when the book will launch and everybody can grab it.
And what we're asking too is do not go there now, because they know the title of the book. You have a launch date. So we want everybody to go and get their book all at one time on your launch date, so that it can help with other things, statistics and analytics. So please don't purchase the book just yet, but we will put the notification of when her launch is on the podcast. We'll put that there on Spotify, and we'll also put when her book launches on this YouTube. We're going to upload it to YouTube. So please, then when she says go, we're all going to just rush on that 24-hour window that she has, and we're going to purchase that book at the same time. So this has been great. I always love talking with you, and I'm glad I get to put up a whole new bio and you get to say author.
Thank you, Nubia. No, thank you for having me.
So anything else? We're going to have all your details at the bottom in the note, in the spaces, and people can notify you that way. And thank you so much for sharing this time with me. And yeah, I can't wait for your book to come, and we'll be flipping through it together. We'll have you back. The Cost of Clutter with Monica J. Jenkins. Thank you guys for being with us here at Nubian Queen Nation. We appreciate you. And that's all we have for today. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Nubia.
Thank you.